Okay, we're just about to get started. Hi, everyone. Hi, it's Craig. Great to see you. We're just going to get started now. Glad you could join us. There's 60 of you online. I know many of you will be joining us. We'll be watching the session. Don't worry if you miss anything, have to leave early, you get distracted, but just relax. Everything will be recorded. I've got some great content to share with you, some mind-blowing technology. And did you know that one of the biggest trade shows in the world that's all about future technology, technology that applies to us in our lives, in our business, going to transform our businesses, our customers that we work with. It's all around consumer technology now. And one of the biggest shows in the world is the Consumer Electronics Show. The Consumer Electronics Show, one of the biggest, 170,000 attendees, 3 million square feet. 3 million square feet plus of show floor space. And if you want to see the future, that's where you go. So today's session's all going to be about the announcements from CES. And as we're watching this, I don't want you to look at it and think, well, what has that self-driving car got to do with helping me as a PA? But it might. You know, there are ways that these technologies could be applied to what you're doing, to what your organization is doing. And if you just keep an open mind and instead ask the question, how could we use this? How could I use this in our organization? Then you might see some possibilities that happen. I'll give you some examples of that. I've been running these sessions, sharing this for the last couple of weeks, and I have companies that are already making plans for what they're going to be rolling out in June and July because of what they've seen in the session. So I'm about to mute myself. And if you'd like to get my attention, these videos are going to be playing for about 45, 50 minutes. They sound like that's a long time, but they're only 2 or 3 minutes at very most. Some are under a minute. And I'll be skipping through them quite quickly. If you'd like to interact with me while this is happening, I've edited these videos down to giving you the best highlights of the major announcements. But I'll be monitoring as well as my VA. Leah will be in the chat box, so open up that chat box and ask me any questions, type some comments as you go along. Just make note that we do save the chat box and we post it for afterwards as well. So keep the language civil, please. But that's where all the interaction will be happening. And people, this is like a second screen, right? A lot of people love to do this, have their iPad while they're watching something else. So I'm just going to turn off my video to save bandwidth and start playing the videos. And if you have any questions at all, just type them into the chat box. Can you find that? Can you send me a message, just say hi, so you know how to do that? That would be great. I've already got a couple questions in there. Okay, so let's get started with Consumer Electronics Show. Remember, start asking yourself, how can we apply some of these things to what I do as an EA, what I do in my organization? How can I bring this into the organization for an advantage this year? Just turn off my video and start the presentation in just 2 ticks. So there are some examples, I think some of wide-ranging of examples of technology you're going to see being released over the next few months. At CES, it's all about testing the market. You bring out something, see if there's a demand for it. I used to exhibit. I used to be in the senior management of Philips Consumer Electronics, go exhibit at CES, show off an early prototype, see if dealers were interested. And my boss would say to me, Craig, if you can get 10,000 orders, then we'll spool up the factory. So sometimes you'll see products announced that never come to market. Others are shipping right away. So I had some questions set ahead of time. One was about the smart pen, so I played that. That's probably the best smart pen. The LiveScribe smart pen I've recommended to many of the legal firms that I have worked with, and they bought hundreds and hundreds of them for their partners and paralegals. It's great to be in an interview and capture every single word, and then it synchronizes with what you're writing as well. So you can go back and touch on a word, and it will play back the audio. It's an incredible tool. A couple more questions that we had. Also, yeah, we had a question about collaboration. What are the best collaboration tools? Well, one of the best tools for collaboration, for organizing teams inside and outside your organization or across organizations, is also the startup that is the fastest one to get to more than $1 billion valuation, and that is called Slack. And Slack is absolutely free to use for a basic account. Then if you run into the situation where you have lots and lots of people using it within your organization, then you pay for a premium account. But you could create a free account, start a channel, which is kind of like a hashtag and a particular subject. It might be EAN, future technology, and then people can join that and share other electronic media. Well, why don't I show you a little clip, because I have literally thousands of my clients now that are using Slack to help them collaborate and communicate better, and many of them have given up email altogether. Well, that's internal email at least. Have a look at this.
So 6 months ago, I get an email from Stuart Butterfield. He wants to talk about making a video for his new thing, Slack. It would change the way teams communicate. The truth is, I was spending all my time doing email instead of making stuff, and something had to change. So yeah, we tried Slack.
Slack lets us do all our communication in one place. It's like combining multiple forms of messaging and file sharing into one app.
You make channels in Slack, which is perfect for discussing specific topics and groups.
Slack integrates with Dropbox, which is amazing because we use Dropbox for everything.
Slack supports lots of other integrations too. Everything from Asana, Google Hangouts, Jira, Papertrail.
I like that Slack always keeps my place. I can switch from my laptop to my mobile, and I never miss a thing.
Is this your card?
Yes.
No. And Adam loves it. Slack really has changed the way his team communicates, and all this open, efficient communication keeps his company happy, which makes Adam happy too.
Also, one of the questions we had was, I need a good project management tool where we can have a visual update of everything that's happening, progress, and that sort of thing. And a related question, somebody asked, how can we keep people focused on just what they need to do individual rather than get caught up in the big picture? Well, you could use something like Slack and limit the people that are in a particular channel that are working on an individual project, but they could be on multiple teams. So that's one of the ways that you could use Slack. But many of my clients, I've recommended a visual organization tool that you can use for project management, and it's called Trello. And Trello works on desktops, Macs and PCs, in a web browser, on tablets. They have apps for Android and iPhones. And this really can give you a visual tool to do project management. And my clients love it. One of my clients has 15,000 users on it, volunteers working on a volunteer project. Here, have a look at that.
Whether he's meeting project deadlines or planning the annual family vacation, Joel keeps everything running smoothly by using Trello. With Trello, Joel organizes and collaborates on all of his projects with anyone from anywhere. In a single glance, he gains perspective of the entire project and sees a real-time snapshot of the tasks that need to get done. Joel coordinates with his family to book the perfect vacation and collaborates with his team to launch their new product, all in one app. No matter where Joel is, Trello gives him real-time updates so that he stays in sync across all of his devices. Best of all, Joel can be sure that none of his tasks will ever fall through the cracks. So be like Joel and start organizing all of your life's projects in Trello today.
The other question that we had that was sent in earlier was board management technology. We'll be finishing in just about 4 minutes. I should be able to get through about half a dozen questions. Board management technology, what works well? Well, I present to a lot of boards all around Australia, and I see most of them are overwhelmed with bits of paper. But some of the leading, most innovative boards from one of the most innovative companies are using apps. And one of my favorite apps for board management is BoardPad. And there's a link in the chat room. Nobody else would be seeing unless you're in there. Go into the chat room. Don't worry, we'll be saving it for BoardPad with a list of features. Trello versus Wunderlist. Question about, did Microsoft buy Wunderlist? Yes, I believe they did. But I wouldn't say that Trello and Wunderlist are equivalent. I would say they could be complementary. Wunderlist is really a to-do list manager. Trello can be a to-do list manager, but it does a lot more than that. It's really a project organization board. And I would suggest, if you're thinking about setting goals for 2016 and what you hope to achieve, give Trello a try. You could keep each goal that you want to achieve in one of these little cards, as they call them. I also had another question in the last couple minutes that we've got about CRMs. What are the hottest CRMs out there? Well, you know, there are literally hundreds, but there are websites that take all those hundreds and hundreds of CRMs and boil it down to which are the most popular, who's using them most, what are the highest ratings, how many likes they have on Facebook. And of course, the number one recognized brand of CRM cloud-based tool is called Salesforce, but it's very complicated and expensive and really designed for large enterprise. And many of my clients are networks of small businesses. And do you know what the number two for the most number of followers and LinkedIn recommendations and so on is a tool that I use in my practice called Insightly. Insightly. And I will put a link into the chat room of for Insightly and to that website that does a review of all the different CRMs. Last question that we'll have time for today was somebody asked, who was it? Dora asked, a to-do list, which is like a Wunderlist, that works between Outlook Mail, Windows Exchange, and iPhones. Wunderlist is one that will do that, but my favorite, one that I've had on my phone for a number of years, is called Todoist. Todoist, and I'll just put that into the chat room. It's Todoist, I-S-T. My chat room window has just disappeared. Leah, if you could, please. There we go. Send to everyone Todoist/Outlook. Will show you how you can integrate that with Outlook. One last question, and then we'll be winding this up. Somebody asked, what are the technological advancements and that do we see in 2016, and how can we prepare for these? Well, that was the topic. It was like a ringer question for today. Today was all about showing you examples of things that you could apply, see a little glimpse of the future, some things that are coming out, just been announced or shipping a few months in the future, or maybe never shipping, you never know, but at least you've had a glimpse into the future. And I know that many of these things, you might say to yourself, but Craig, I don't see how these apply, but they do. If you could think of innovative ways of using the screen technologies in your boardrooms or in presentations, or using the movie camera to shoot conferences, and you don't need a video production team. There's even for a lot of these products, you can put an order in, pre-order. I've ordered the movie and got 50% off. The camera's only $199 right now. So have a look at some of these clips. Ask yourself, how could we apply these in our organization? How can we prepare for these? And how can I use them as an executive assistant? All right, last chance for questions. I'm going to, that ends the formal part of our presentation, but I always leave the mic open, the chat room open, so I'll be happy to answer any of your particular questions. Okay, let's see. Stacy had a question about the portable projector and the screen. So the portable projector is called the Sony Homely, H-O, and they said shipping around June timeframe. And I think it'll be under $1,000 US. The name of the camera for shooting business events was called the Movi camera. And if that was the camera that the Movi camera, you can get it at getmovi.com for 50% off right now. Does Trello cover off communications like Slack, or would you use both? It can integrate with email, but Slack is trying to get people out of email. So if you are a technology ninja, like some of my clients are, they integrate Slack and Trello together so people that are on teams don't get overwhelmed with email and searching through multiple places. So you can use Slack and Trello together. You would be a organizational productivity ninja. I have quite a few startups that have done that. And then somebody asked also earlier is, how can we display this? There is a great iPad app called Status Board that one of my clients, a publicly listed company, has Status Board iPads plugged into big screens. And when you walk into the lobby, they've got the metrics of everything, the number of calls coming in, how many visits to their website, how many cars have they shipped, how many loans they've got under management, how many happy customers they have, their net promoter score, all live, all using the Status Board connected to Trello to drive it, and all their internal communications is using Slack. So you could integrate those all together. Anyway, guys, we're running out of time. The webinar will be shutting down a little bit. We'll just be answering a couple text questions here. I'm so glad you could make it. I'd love to help you in any way I can. If you've got any ideas for other topics that you'd like covered in future sessions, please register again. Type in your sign up for our next one. It'll be in the same time and place online, and the same time of month. That notification will be going out, and you can find the recording in the next couple days uploaded at EAN. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for taking your time, your lunchtime with us. Did you have a sandwich or a coffee while you were watching? I really hope that's been helpful to you, and I will see you online. Thanks, everyone. Looking forward to chatting with you.